Fillin and Chillin #2. Instead of filling air today, you're filling magazines. And I've been waiting for these FX pellets to come in for a little while now. The thing that scares me a little bit is I checked to make sure these were the same grain, but they changed labels on me. And as you know, if anyone that wants to see a different label, they'll probably just automatically assume it's a different product. But let's pray this is the same one. 10 tins will go by pretty quick, so if they're different, I'm gonna know pretty quickly, and then I'm just never gonna buy them again. I'll have to be looking for something different. These things are so consistent in the Gauntlet too, in the Blitz. Speaking of the Blitz, I did have that video where target was all over the place with the hits, zero consistency. Well, that turned out to be the moderator, the suppressor on the Blitz. Kind of came loose just a tad bit. So as it unscrewed just a tiny little bit, it kind of probably sank just like a degree. And with it being a barrel, that is enough to probably cause some issues. So when I took the suppressor apart, there were like multiple pellets worth of just crushed, shattered, exploded little lead powder pieces, and there were little chunks of pellets. Oh, I also had pellets that started to try and reform into a big glob. It was like it was a 20 grain 30 cal pellet. That was interesting. So if you have a moderator on an air gun, make sure that it is tightened down, because that is not good to have happen. And I had I have two of the Ronins I have one for the Gauntlet, one for the Blitz. Before I had the second one, I swapped the one that's on the Gauntlet over to the Blitz. That one was a little messed up, but it was only on it for maybe like a week or two. And I didn't really use it too much right when I got it. So I had to go through that one and clean that one. That one was just a little messed up. Alright, so let's do these. Oh, these are different. They must have given me different pellets. There's no way these are the same. Nope. Well, you're gonna get an honest opinion of these in the upcoming weeks, so be prepared for that one. I'm not too happy about that. I ordered 10 of these tins, and they either don't have them and ship me these, or they ship me these by accident. That's Air Guns of Utah, or Utah Air Guns, where I got these from. I usually get from a local place here, but, well, it's not like local, it's kind of far away, but it's in the same state. Their website was down, so I couldn't even order the pellets. So, I guess in the upcoming week, you will have a strong opinion from me, or just a very neutral one. Those are my predictions. A neutral opinion, which hopefully these are as good as the blue ones. And then you'll really hear from me on the next Fillin and Chillin if it's something else. Has anyone used these? Do they know how they perform? Okay, those are done. Yeah, let's get the, let me get the Bandit ones out of the way. I'm like weighing down the table tennis thing with all these pellets. It's kind of fun. Alright, so for the Bandit, and the chasers, even the chasers, the CO2 version of that. I switch up between slugs, and I like these RWS Hobby. They're wad cutters. So the wad cutters, through the chaser and the bandit, close range, it's a ton of fun. When I mean close range, probably within 100 feet. When you are just shooting cans and stuff, these things are awesome. And that's basically what I did like all last year with this, was just shoot cans. To the point where like, you'd shoot a can and you pretty much like, if the can was still there, you'd hit it. But I put so many holes through it that it was just like a thread of aluminum holding on the rest. That's what the majority of my cans ended up being. Just a top and a bottom held on by this thin, frail little strip of aluminum, because I shot the thing out of existence. But yeah, these within 100 feet, they're dirt cheap. They weigh nothing, so you're gonna get pretty much your max speed that you would get from what's listed on the specification sheets for your pellet guns. They're gonna be using the lightest pellets, so it's pretty sure Pyramid uses these when they do their tests. To me, honestly, FPS is not that important. Accuracy is the most important thing to me. If you can't shoot with it consistently, if I can't shoot a can at 100 feet with one of these, why am I even bothering? Why bother? So accuracy is number one. Now obviously, speed is important because I like power, so power is good too, but power comes after accuracy. There's got to be a balance to that. Not that power takes away from accuracy. I'm just saying, when you get to different grain weights on these pellets, some of them might perform really weird. You're going to need the velocity behind the pellet or the slug to hopefully sustain flight fairly straight, because obviously if you're using an if you're underpowered shooting something too heavy, you might not be able to stabilize some of these pellets when they're going down range. So if you have something like the bandit, or the chaser rather, that you can put these slugs through them, and I've done it, but there's going to be a limit to where you're going to be able to max out. Like, it's just going to, you'll have to find that out for yourself, because there's so many factors: how far away you're going to be, the CO2 that's in it. I'm sure elevation matters. But yeah, I mean, I just try out the lighter slugs that you can essentially get pellets that are pretty close to what these would be, but they're a slug version of that pellet. So the grain weight can be the same or similar, but you're just going to end up with that on the bottom. There's no divot, and these are hollow points too. So some of them might not feed. You're going to run into issues with that. But as long as they're pretty much around the same size, they'll fit in the magazines and whatnot, so you won't have an issue with that. Some of them are going to get too big where they're too tall, because all they're going to do with these pellets to make them bigger is they're going to be the same width, but they're going to be taller. They're going to be heavy boys. Okay. That's done. That's done. Blitz time. It's everyone's favorite time. Blitz time. These mags are satisfying to load. Easy to load. It says these are 44.8 grain, so they're the same weight as the other pellets I like, but with this little, atomic nuclear sign thing or whatever. That must be taking out some of the weight, because the bottom of these pellets I can tell are way thicker. I can tell there's definitely more material. So whatever material's missing out of the front was put in the back. I'm not really a big fan of these holes in the front. I'd really just have a round dome tip. I have a feeling these just aren't going to be as accurate. I could be dead wrong, but we're going to find out. Oh, I just wish these were my other pellets. I've been waiting off loading these. I have the other pellets. I have the red ones, which are 50 grains, and then I had those other ones I was using, the Diabolos, and then like 1 or 2 other tins that I have up there, but I just wasn't loading. I've been waiting for these. So I've shot everything. Just didn't load the mags, and I'm waiting for these to come in. Except now I'm kind of bummed out. I'll try not to remain bummed out and try and be optimistic and just say, you know, once I fire the first mag, I'll be like, wow, these are awesome. I don't know if that's going to be the case, though. Hopefully. Yeah, so back to the power kind of thing, the FPS. FPS is going to be power, obviously. And then obviously it comes down to what you're shooting to determine how fast it's going to be going. But obviously, if you're getting 1,000 feet per second out of like the 12 grain RWS, you're probably going to be getting 600 to 700 if you were using these 20.2 grain slugs. It's going to be a pretty significant drop, but still. And then you can do like you can do the foot-pound calculator online, and some of these things, wow, my camera just crapped out. Just making sure it wasn't dead. Some of these things, you'll find out that you'll get more energy behind it if you sacrifice some of the speed and use a little bit bigger or heavier pellet. The math will come out to being more powerful rather than using light and going really, really fast. You might find a little bit of a balance. You go a little bit heavier, sacrifice some of that velocity, and you're in business. Like I like to compare some of these pellet guns to like a 45 ACP. If you watch Hickok 45 and you're behind him and you're watching a 45 ACP slug fly, you know, pretty much 100 yards, it's shooting so slow that you can actually see it. And then when you're from that perspective behind the camera, it's so easy to see. But you'll get that same effect when you're looking through the scope, or even some of these pellet guns, you don't even need the scope. You can just see the pellet. But if you're looking through a scope, you can actually see the pellet flying down range, and it looks just like the 45. It's like you're pretty much lobbing around in there, like artillery. But it's just kind of comical that, you know, it's going 700, 800 feet per second, something like that, and you're just making that out. Which is awesome, too, because a lot of the biggest difficulty, I think, is trying to actually see where you're shooting sometimes. If you're shooting, like, and you miss and you hit grass, you're not going to see anything, really. I love to shoot the dirt, because you can just see the dirt kick up. Not really helpful when it's raining, because then the mud, you don't really make it out as much. But yeah, that's the thing for me, is just trying to figure out where some of these things are hitting. And then, you know, if you can see it in the scope where it's going, it's pretty clear, you know. You physically see where it's going. It's kind of nice. These things are crazy. They were out of stock everywhere. And then I just went to the Hatson site itself directly, and they're on stock on there. So I ended up getting 4 of these. I was waiting like a month plus. Everywhere you go, out of stock. And the crazy thing is, it starts pulling up like it'll pull, well, I'm in the US, it'll pull foreign countries, and even those are out of stock. So, everywhere online that I've seen is out of stock except for Hatson.com. And they kind of suck to load if you don't have that loading tool. I don't know if I threw it away or something. I don't know if it comes with one. They don't sell it online. When I bought these mags, I like talked to them and I talked to them and I arranged for it to be sent when I ordered. That's how I ended up with it. Don't want to do that. You gotta push down with these things pretty hard. They should have made this a little bit deeper of a nub, or like a little socket thing to grab onto. Because to be fair, it wants to just slip off a little bit, at least from my experience. You know what, let me just fill these other two like that too. Get those springs primed. And after this, everything is loaded. I just have these 4 mags to go. I should probably bring out my Benjamin Kratos a little bit more. That thing's a lot of fun to shoot. I mean, at this point, I'm pretty much like... I'm pretty much done with 22 pellet guns. I mean, it's nice to have like a little bit of variety. I got the Bandit. I got the Chaser. I got my B-Man GS 950. I got my B-Man... is it R9? But I mean, I know what I'm gonna get out of a 22 brake barrel, CO2, PCP. I know what to expect. And to me, they're all pretty much gonna be similar enough that once I have like what I have, I just pretty much stopped. The cool thing to me in a lot of these air guns is the pellet. It's just like, the getting used to these other calibers is awesome. I mean, even Johnny BB Gunner got that 25 Hatson. Even the 25. I'll probably am gonna get one at some point. But for me, like, I took the jump from 22 to 30, so it's just in this gray area where I probably would like it. If I got a 25, I'd probably take it over. I don't know if I'd end up shooting my 22s. It's extremely satisfying to be able to use multiple calibers and be able to pull off, you know, something crazy with it. For me, for accuracy, a 22 is pretty much going to be, for my ability, I don't know if it's just the ability of the gun, or guns, probably 100 yards. I can take the Bandit out one-handed and hit the steels at like 70 yards pretty easily. I'm sure the gun helps. It's doing half the job for me. But I would, because I'm expecting like I'm expecting a specific accuracy threshold, I guess. It's just like, if I can place something out and I just can't consistently hit it at that range, that's what I'm saying is the limit for me. It's not like it couldn't do, it isn't capable. It's just is the wind gonna pull the round so far that I'm never gonna be able to consistently hit it? If I artillery hold a brake barrel with 22 and I still can't do it doing that with amazing scope, slugs, etc., then I'm just gonna call it quits for that. And I think the thing that really allures me more is the 30 cals just will, they carry. They got the weight. I mean, you're talking, it's pretty much the weight of a 22 LR. You got the same ballistics, pretty much. You're almost at 1,000 feet per second. Same grain weight. These are actually a little bit heavier for some of them. But I get similar accuracy to a 22. And if you can get similar accuracy to a 22 for cheap, $500 out of that, or less than 500 for that gauntlet. Under $20 for a tin of 150 rounds. You can't even get 22 that cheap right now. I was like shocked. I had 22 that was so dirt cheap compared to what it's 3 to 4 times the price right now. So it's kind of nice to, you know, you don't worry about powder. You just get lead. Your power plant is air. You get rid of all that dirtiness. It's all clean from the air. I have done pretty much zero cleaning on my guns. It's just satisfying. I mean, I've been giving my firearms a break. I've been having fun with the full auto. I can't even get full auto here unless it's pre-ban. So, oh, and I'll get demonetized if I put that on YouTube. Not like I really care too much about that. I don't know. Accuracy is unbelievable out of that gauntlet. The Blitz is a little bit less accurate, but it's pretty good. I don't know if the velocity drop has something to do with that. You're talking 200 feet per second less. A little bit more than 200 feet. So that might have a little bit on that. But Gauntlet's insane. Yeah, so the ability to just need lead that's cheap. As cheap as lead can be, I guess, right now. To have the accuracy of a 22, the power of a 22. And once again, my fair warning to everyone, which you can get cheap compressors if you really want, or if you have the ability to get a transfer take and fill at a scuba shop or a paintball place, I would highly recommend getting a PCP. The next video, I think I might talk about some of the loopholes and workarounds. It just makes things so much simpler, especially for a lot of people. In my case, it doesn't really matter. I mean, there might be state laws that prohibit me from getting certain things, but there's nothing in the state that's going to prohibit me from shooting here. I guess that camera just died. But for someone who doesn't have the ability, the open land to shoot, PCPs and air guns in general, break barrel, CO2, I highly recommend it. And I feel like we need more people to get in the hobby. I don't know, it just doesn't feel as popular as it should be. I understand the PCP aspect where it's a big commitment, but I mean, I'm almost at the point where I want to I really want to get people into PCPs or air guns in general. I don't know, it just feels like some of these sports and arts are really coming to a decline. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Until Fill and Chill number 3. This is Toxic Matrix from the Resistance.